Greetings! Anton here with an H3VR devlog. I am back from my week break, and I thought I'd fill you folks in on what I'm working on now that I'm back in the saddle. The big thing that I've been working on the past week is probably the longest time requested feature of the game that folks have wanted, and that in the past I was sort of unprepared to do, and now I think I've finally gotten a handle on enough things to do it well, which is the ability to configure a custom firearm however you want it, save it into the item spawner, and be able to respawn it at a later time, either in the same play session or a future play session. The reason I've been able to do this in the past is that I didn't really have a unified object database for everything in the game. I had a bunch of purpose-built ones designed for specific things. There was a separate sort of database, an abstraction system for objects that you duplicated out of quick belt slots like magazines, and then of course there's the system that the item spawner runs on. But the problem with that setup was that there wasn't a sort of one-to-one relationship of object to abstraction, as some of the things that pop out of the item spawner are, say, two objects like pairs of iron sights, or an object in a shotgun shell spawns, etc. So I didn't really have the data linkages required to do it well. And then on top of that, there were just there are still, at the moment, I'm working on them, some underlying issues with the attachment system that need tuning before being able to automate it works well. So I decided, after I got back sort of refreshed from my vacation, as I tend to like to do, I sort of looked at my sort of grand to-do list and was like, all right, what's a big challenge for something that folks will really appreciate that I could just throw myself at and do a run at trying to make happen. And so I picked this. So it's going super well. Although by well I mean ready to blow my brains out after like 2-3 days of just rebuilding a database of objects by hand, filling everything out by hand. It's just yeah. In case you're wondering, by the way, there are 118 unique cartridges in the game. Yay. But yeah, so that is what is coming. It should be ready by next Friday. I still have some stuff. The UI is probably going to be a little rough out of the gate, just because I want to make sure the feature set of that saving and loading functionality is exactly what it should be before I then have, you know, Lucas come in and do a UI for it that actually is pleasant to look at and sort of has some cleanly designed UX. So it'll probably be like a little extra tab for the item spawner at first. They'll be a little hideous, or just a couple buttons to put like just a single save load per firearm. Not quite sure yet. But I've got the database and the sort of serialization underside of it working. So you will finally be able to spend all that loving attention configuring a firearm exactly how you want it, exactly how you want its attachments, and we'll be able to save it for future use, which should hopefully make you all want to play with all of the attachments even more. So let's see. So that's the big thing. I'm going to continue working on the meat system. Going to have some new sequences. I've gotten a whole bunch of user requests, as well as just I can see all of the sort of high score tables that you guys have been entering, and get a sense of what's being played the most, what there's the most demand for, etc. So there'll be a whole bunch more of those, as well as a couple new toys that I've been working on. It's been as I've been getting back into the swing of things, I had a sort of a rash of firearm donations and commissions all finish at once, so I'm once again deeply backlogged. I'm going to be slowly dropping more firearms for months and months. Who am I kidding? For as long as this game is being worked on, there will continue to be a trickle of new firearms, but there'll be a good drop coming next week, including some requested ones, so super excited about that. Beyond that, and sort of where the game's going, just a little bit of dorky personal news. What I decided to spend my vacation on was actually finishing up a Warhammer 40k army that I've been working on since about early February, and I'm happy to report that I finished it for the Games Workshop Inner Circle 40k army contest. I totally won at the store level. thus getting this sweet gold Deathwing Knight challenge coin, and managed to also win at the national level. So I'm one of 5 people who will be flying to Games Workshop's US HQ in Dallas in like 2 weeks or something like that. So yeah, dorky stuff. I've been having too much fun with it. If you're curious about my 40K stuff and my army, I've linked below some links to an Imgur gallery with it. So yeah, so I am revitalized from the week off, and am tackling some of the bigger system problems in the game that should yield some exciting new features for your folks. And yeah, and then following that, just doing probably the next month or so, month and a half, is going to be largely oriented around content pushes. So filling out the sort of the meats categories until I'm really happy with them, and dropping some new toys for you to play with while you play it and the other scenes. So hope you enjoy it. I will see you all next week with a sweet update, and yeah, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Peace.